Yeah, get this up a little higher.
We can hear you. Be quiet.
Sorry.
You can't handle the truth.
I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. The voice is still not quite there. All right, let's. Oh wait, the government told me what day it is. I don't have to make it up. They're brighter than I am. They're so smart and sophisticated. I mean, look at what they can do. They can beat on third world countries. Anyway, we're going to call it February. Sorry, we're no February anymore. We are marching. We are marching on to. Oh, no. March 2nd. It's a Monday, 2023. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, guys, it's. We've got the bombs falling over in the Middle East. Again, I'm not discounting anything that our government is doing or whatever is going on. And there are the talent of the men and as well as the women that are out there doing these things. But at the same time, we're not, we're talking about things like Iran. And, I know they've got cool guys and all that, and they're tough guys. And I appreciate the Persians. I really do. I think the Persians are pretty cool. I've hung out with quite a few of them in my life and have friends that are still, that are Persians now. So it's a thing. But what I'm pointing out to you is, if we can't go in there and just wipe the floor with them, what are we calling ourselves a superpower for? And in reality, everything that they're doing is just all pomp and circumstance. It really, to me, I get what they're doing, but at the same time, this is not what we talked about doing. We're not doing regime change. We're not doing all that. So I have a bit of an axe to grind with Trump. And yes, I understand that Iran only respects authority. They only respect confidence. They only respect actions. Well, here we are. Okay, so I get what I was saying last week. I said, listen, they only respect strength. They only want that. That's what they want. And they'll stand there and die saying I'm strong. And that's kind of how it works for them. And by the way, guys, listen. The people who had the power, the Ayatollahs and all that, these are religious people, just like Bibi is. And I'm not going to get into the who's who and what's what and Israel this or Jewish that or the Bible this or Bible not that. I'm not going to do that with you. I'm pointing out simple facts. If you cannot listen to facts, when I say that Bibi Netanyahu and the Ayatollah, same. They're figureheads. These are religious leaders. They are doing things by religiousness. And then they happen to run a country on top of it. So, guys, this is a slippery slope for us. We have to be careful that we don't get ourselves. Give yourself a little more space on top of your head there, Brian. You're chopping your head off. There you go. And the lights are okay. It looks like you're in heaven. Anyway, but my problem with it is that, guys, no matter what we do, no matter how it is, it doesn't matter. Someone's going to be mad. Everybody gets ice cream, but I don't like vanilla. We only have vanilla. That is literally the human experience. I think if I boiled it down to the keep it simple, smallest equation there, that's literally what people will do. What do you mean you were using stealth bombers? They should know you're coming so they have a fighting chance. I don't like vanilla. Sounds the same, doesn't it? I mean, this is the weirdest shit I've ever seen. I've seen people... Now, guys, listen. All the conjectures of, well, the Ayatollahs, the Iranians, well, the Americans, well, the Israelites, all this... It's not worth the conjecture. I really don't appreciate it. And I don't appreciate the fear-mongering. If you guys watch the movie Wag the Dog, everything I'm saying coming out of my face... Go watch the movie Wag the Dog. I've told you guys 1,000 times on this show for year after year after year. Go rent it for $2 or $3, whatever it is on Netflix or whatever you got to get it on Apple TV, whatever it is. Go watch the movie Wag the Dog. And then watch The Matrix right after it. That's like 101 Jim Price. Go do that so you can listen, watch, and be a part of the Jim Price Show. That's a requirement here. So, wow, guys are out there. Maggie O'Leary is here. Good to see you. Brenda Snowden's already here. Curly May up in Canada is up here. Let's see who else we got. Eddie's he's showing up, being my moderator. Thank you, Eddie, for being that guy, getting it out there. Dave Glevin's here too. Thank you, Dave. All right. So again, I'm not pissing on anybody's religion. I'm not pissing on Bethlehem. I'm not pissing on Jesus. I'm not pissing on God. This is where, but if you want to get pissed, that's your choice. But what I want to point out is the things that I see is very obvious. And when you point out the things that seem very obvious, then you have to start going back into yourself and creating discernment within yourself. Because if you're telling me you're never wrong, you're telling me you have all the answers, you're telling me you know, then I can't help you. I can't associate with you. Because honestly, if you're that ego-driven, we're never going to get along. Because the one thing that I have to do as a youth pastor, as a person who was a AWANA's director for 20-some years, who got more, I've won more AWANA Olympic flags than anybody I've ever known. And guys, I know all this stuff, and I have to correct myself. I have to go back and be discerning. Why don't you? Why don't you? That's the fairness of it. If I have to put the work in, well, so do you. So, all right, well, this is, I don't want to make everybody mad about that, but the whole thing about Hillary Clinton in the last week and the testifying and Billy going to do his thing, and then we got, guys, what happened to the murder hornets? What happened to the other Omicrons? What happened to the Iceland war? What happened to we're going to go to Antarctica and we're going to take over the South Pole because that's where all the ice walls are? I mean, guys, we keep pointing out that we're going to, and all this, but there's so many things you're not even maintaining on your list of observation. Don't act like you know what's going on and how it should go on. See, that's where I'm trying to show you that I don't get it. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the news. I don't have all the goings on. I don't have my thumb on everybody's heartbeat. There's a lot of things I know and a lot of things I can be discerning about. And the first thing I'm discerning about is how I don't know anything. And I think that's where I really wanted to go with that whole message in the very beginning, is that we got to be more humble about what we are and who we are. Because a lot of people running around out there calling people Nazis and this and that and all these other things. Guys, name calling never wins an argument. Never. In fact, if you use name calling, then you've already lost the argument. All right, guys. Well, that is about enough for me going out there running my mouth. I do have my special guest here with me, and here he is right now. Brian, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Good to see you, sir.
Jim, it's a blessing to be back with you, brother. I miss you, man. God bless you. And
Thank you.
Thanks for having me again. It's been too long.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you haven't ran for office in a minute, so we had to get you back in here. Brian is actually down in Florida, unless he's moved on me all of a sudden, and I don't know about it. I didn't get the card. But no, Brian is he's a vet, and I know he's ran for office a couple times. I know that he loves animals and really puts his time and work into that. In fact, he's in his barn right now. If you can see in the back of his right ear, that's a goat. That may look like he's got heavenly lights all around him, but that's actually a goat right there to the right of his ear. That is a live goat. That's not a green screen. So Brian is doing it real. Brian, thank you so much for being a part of the show. And you're running for school board. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And then actually I'm at Liv's Lovely Dairy and Creamery Farm. This is not mine. I'm just here.
Oh, I was jelly. I was like, Brian, what have you been doing, man? You're killing it. What?
Well, I actually arranged, if you ever come back to Florida, bro, you got to come down and you can milk some goats and get some goat milk and meet the people, the owners here. And
yeah. Now, which part of Florida?
Really good.
Which part of Florida is that?
We're in the Tampa Bay area, like Pasco County, Hernando County.
Yeah, St. Pete's, whatever. Allegiant flies in there for like $300, man. I can come down there and hang out.
Well, my place is finally where I can have a guest, because last time when you were down, it wasn't really in some good shape. So if you do, you got a spot at my crib. As always, you're my brother, man.
No worries, man. I really appreciate it. Now, Brian, we've known each other, what's it going on, 3 or 4 years now. Lisa Dick as well. She is a great friend of yours as well as mine.
Yep.
So how long has it been? 3 or 4 years?
It's been at least 3 or 4 years. Yeah, I think. Did we first meet at the General Flynn thing, or was it before that?
I think it was at a General Flynn thing, and then we just started seeing each other more repetitively after that.
In Georgia, we got to spend that's when we really got to really know each other and hang out more and just really hang out as brothers. And that was fun.
And that was the, what was her name? She was
Nations in Action, Maria Zach.
Yeah, Maria Zach, Nation Zach's a big voter integrity kind of stuff. And we did have some pretty breaking news at that event. If I remember right, we had a guy who was releasing some analysis on different things, but that was actually a really great event there in Georgia. And we did that over the 4th of July. And that was, gosh, that was 3 years ago at least for that one.
Yeah, that for sure. And I think the Flint thing was at least 4 years ago.
So it may be 5. Oh, God dang. Dude.
Yeah.
You're getting,
21.
You're getting some white in your beard there, buddy. What's going on? What's up?
I know. It looks good. I'm match you.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually
you got a nice little goatee like the goats around here.
Well, you gotta live it, right? You gotta rep it out. I'm getting the color back. I've been putting copper in my diet,
sir.
And I got always wearing my copper ring on, and I got copper bracelets I make. Oh yeah, but getting the color back. This is actually, I know this seems white, but if you actually were to, if you put something white next to it, it's actually more tan. It's just because I have a tan face. But anyway, so we don't talk about our beauty here. No beauty secrets.
Where are you getting your copper from?
I do a chelated copper, but then I also.
Where are you getting your copper from?
Maybe the ones I make my stuff from. Or do you take? Which one?
No, are you taking a liquid copper?
I'm taking a chelated capsule or a tablet, and then I have then I make these rings, and I make custom wire bracelets as well. Okay,
I'll have to buy some from you so I can wear some of that too.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, especially if you were an A blood, there's some.
I'm A positive.
Oh, you need copper daily, dude. That's like literally as an A person, it's like you have to have copper touching you, like literally touching you. Like I mean, and I mean that not like have a penny in your pocket, but I mean I can. What I need you to do is I know we're not even talking about politics yet.
We will
take a measurement of your wrist with a fabric tape, and send me that dimension, and I will custom make you one, number it. So that you can wear it on your wrist, but I have one. I make them for other people as well. But give me the dimension of your left wrist. All right. What'll happen is the gap on it will make it to where it perfectly fits on your wrist without you having to bend it or flex it or anything.
Oh, wow. Thanks, brother. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. We'll get that. And then text me the length and then your address, and I'll get that sent out this week.
All right. Sounds good, bro. Thank you very much.
No, yeah, absolutely. One man to another. Okay, so let's get back to the things of things. Now I appreciate the fact that you are an animal guy. Now that is true though. You are an animal guy. I'm correct on that.
I am. Yes. Yeah. I love animals very much. Yeah. Yes.
So, and
I have a dog and a goat myself at home right now.
Well, there you go. See, I knew you were. I mean, it was closer to home than you wanted to be, right? It's at home.
I just didn't want to take credit for this place. This is definitely not mine. I'm just grateful to hopefully work with them when we get into the school board system to help feed the children and everything. So,
absolutely.
But we'll get to them later.
Yeah. Now, okay, so you're running for school board, and this is a position. Now, is it in Florida? A lot of these positions are not paid. In Florida, does school board get paid where you're at?
They do. I think it's like 51,000. The superintendent gets 225,000.
Wow.
And and we have there'll be 5 districts in Pasco County. I'm running in District 1.
Okay. So so each district has a quote unquote voter, a single vote on the board kind of deal. Is that how they're doing it?
No, actually it's a countywide election. So
but each district has one person on the board. Is that right?
Yes. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
And I have 18 schools in District 1. So I would be.
Now, would you be in charge of just like basic policy or budgeting, or how does that work for you down? Now, so that's why I'm asking these questions, because some districts, they don't handle the money. Some districts, they only handle the money, but they don't handle the policy. Some districts, it's a paid job, some it's not. So some of these, I want everybody to realize that each district, guys, they're all different. They're all different. So anyway, that's so do you make policy? Are you working on book contracts? I mean, how does it work for what that school board does in those districts?
Well, I believe the board makes decisions on approving where the money goes.
Okay.
I think the district ultimately tries to say where it goes, and then we vote on it as a group, yay or nay. Policy wise, I am looking into that because I want to bring back reading, writing, arithmetic, basic basic life skills, financial fundamentals, trades, um, uh, agriculture,
Well,
stuff
see,
like that.
each one of those things, though, sounds like a skill set that someone could naturally go into a job right after high school and not have to continue ed through tech and college, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So my plan would be to try to implement reading, writing, arithmetic, civics. So in civics now, I'm going to give you the breakdown of civics, learning what it means to be a U.S. citizen, American,
Mm-hmm.
our constitutional God-given rights, that we're a constitutional republic, and implement God back into the system in the 10 Commandments.
Right.
And so if we can start there with through elementary, middle school, get the kids done with that stuff, then as they go into high school, they can maybe pick a school, maybe a high school where there might be agriculture, say, or, we used to have a pilot program where you can learn how to fly, or welding, or plumbing, or electrical, entrepreneurship, things like that. And then get basic life skills as you get older through the system, and financial fundamentals, know how to balance a budget. Hopefully we won't have to worry about taxes. So hopefully we won't have to teach them about filing taxes. But if we do still have to get ripped off and get our money stolen by the government, then teach them how to do that. And just basically stuff that actually use in life, because
Right.
all the garbage testing that they're taking now, they don't do nothing with it, man. They're a bunch of
Well, that's yeah. Oh no, absolutely. No, that's when you say "duh." The problem is what we're down to now. Some areas of the country have a 3rd grade reading average.
Yep.
That's not people in school. That's society. That's
Yes.
that's the people, not like the people in 3rd grade saying I agree to the 3rd grade. These are the people. These are the neighborhoods are reading at a 3rd and 5th grade level. So, guys, if we don't take serious the ability to put people into a better situation, and we don't start really taking education as one of those things where, listen, ma'am, sir,
Yep.
if you don't start performing in a way that knocks us socks off, we'll have to replace you. But the problem is that the teachers unions have created this, well, we don't create widgets, we create dreams. Well, or whatever, imagination. The problem with that is how do you measure that, right? Well, the sad part of it is like, well, teachers are like, well, we can't be held accountable for what's coming out. Hey, I get that. About half of what a child's grade is whether there's a father and a mother in the home, and what blend that is. That's a big half. I say that's half the grade. Okay.
Yep.
But then the other half is the education process, and we're in this Phoenician style of education. How do we get ourselves to teach people skills that make them want to learn and be better people? Or does that make sense?
No, it does. And that's part of the plan, is to keep the nuclear family together. And I believe if you instill God, put like something that people can really lean on as a principle, and keep the family unit together, that is a huge difference to keep the father in the homes.
Right.
And we want to be able to teach men how to be men today, because we were attacked for 20 years since the Obama eras, really, on toxic masculinity, and men forgot how to be men,
Oh, I had a thing on this just today. Now, you said men being men, toxic masculinity. Remember when, now listen to this for a second. Remember when men were told it's okay to cry? See, it is okay to cry if the person that you actually open yourself up to is willing to never use that soft spot against you. But we've all learned in society, we've all learned through divorce, we've all learned through all the hate this and hate that that's what you do. You find the softest part of them where they made the mistake, where they gave in, where they showed you their soft part. And this goes into politics and into men in general. But when men get kicked when they're down, they just don't tend to want to open back up. And then we wonder why we don't want to. And why we can't communicate as human beings with each other is because we keep abusing each other. Look at the stuff that, like I said in the very beginning. Well, okay, ice cream for everybody, but I don't like vanilla. There's always that one turd in the punch bowl, right? Hey, the 99% of the punch was amazing until you just took a big turd in there. So again, we got to be able to do things that allow men to be men and women to be women, but let's do it with dignity and honor, and instill in these kids that that learning and education is something that you continually do for all of your life, and it actually makes you better, not what are we working to? Society is working to where I don't want to work because it's work. How do we
everybody thinks they're
reverse that?
entitled right now.
Yeah, there you go.
It's it was part of the participation trophy era, where if you just participated, you got rewarded. We're getting rid of all that in my district.
Right.
You got to earn it. And we're going to get back. Speaking of accountability, we're going to hold anybody accountable, whether teachers, students, parents. Parents need to get back to parenting. Students need to just be students. Teachers need to teach. Administrations need to administrate. Not get rid of this indoctrination garbage. We're going to get back to common skills, our common sense and critical thinking, and the unions are definitely, it's going to be a battle, but I do want to pay the teachers more out of the actual budget, give them a permanent salary, give them, if I can raise it up to 6%, at least a livable wage, and use it straight from the budget, because I'm not for raising taxes to pay teachers. That's ridiculous. We have a $2.1 billion budget. And if we can't pay teachers, bus drivers, and our maintenance staff and coaches better out of the budget, then we're doing something wrong. And granted, I can't really speak on the budget yet because I haven't got elected to really be able to look at the budget.
Right.
Good. But and see where the money is going. But we definitely need to pay the teachers a livable wage.
Right.
I actually substitute in our district,
Okay.
and I'm a referee, but I've been doing it for several years.
Right.
Just to be on the front lines and learn and see what's going on. And they're really an underpaid babysitter. And then they allow the small percentage of these kids to disrupt the class and carry on, and nobody does anything about it. The teachers send them to be punished. Now I'm going to go back to the 3 strikes rule.
Right.
You screw up, all right, suspension.
Yeah.
And then actually in Florida, I looked it up. Corporal punishment is still a state law here in Florida. So if parents don't want to come in, like if a kid's being aggressive or getting in fight or disrespecting a teacher with his mouth, maybe we put soap in it and the parent comes down and spanks their kid. And if not, they sign a piece of paper and allow, obviously with multiple people in the room and the parent, then I'll let my administrators or whoever handle that business, because we need to hold people accountable. People shouldn't just be able to run amok. The inmates shouldn't run asylum.
We've ran far enough in society that we've proven that the Bible parable, the Bible's metaphor, spare the rod, spoil the child. We've ran far enough in this experiment for the last 20, 30 years with this politically correct crap that Uncle Barry brought into us, where it was, oh, we can't see the word retard, or, oh, we can't see the word deaf. It's hearing impaired. I'm like, my deaf daughter is like, why do they keep saying hearing impaired? I'm deaf. Like, my deaf daughter says that. She's like, why is this the thing? Why do they keep making it? I'm like, well, they want to make it special. And she's like, it's not. It's stupid. It's wasting my time. Do you see? So the sad part, I think we've asked for questions or answering questions nobody's asked. Brian, when you're talking about those things, we're talking about different levels of education where people are going to have to be participants. They're going to have to be involved. There may be accountability. And as a society, the sad part of it is that a lot of the people who are really up for that may already be in homeschool or in private school. So how do we set down and get rid of all the fluff, do an efficiency study on education, and do we get back to where parents and students are educating each other and the teacher is the guide?
Yes.
So how do we get back
policies?
Go ahead. Yeah.
And if people don't follow those rules, then they'll be shipped out. In my district, it's either shape up or ship out. It's time to get back to doing what we need to do as a society and get together and unite, because that's the only way we fix this situation that we're in is through education. Like you're just talking about wisdom. In the Bible, it talks about wisdom is the greatest gift the greatest you can receive.
Right.
Knowledge is power. It truly is. Money doesn't buy you knowledge and wisdom. It only buys you toys and materialistic things. If we get back to
it buys you opportunities, but what you do with those opportunities, like Jeffy bought an island and did stupid shit, right? Well, if I bought an island, I would build this amazing, this outcrop of buildings and have people visiting and have amazing time and let people relax and chill out, and maybe not eating children. You know, that's my difference of, hey, I want to buy an island so that we can all hang out. He's like, hey, I want to buy an island so I can eat people. I mean, there is a difference where people go in there and they can make different decisions. This is not genetic. I think this is just bad decisions.
It is. It really, it's a cultural society where people are afraid to hurt people's feelings or get called names. Me, as you know, we both been called probably every name in the book.
Yeah.
You know, between what you've done in politics and myself, like running for Congress, I've been called every name in the book, and I don't care, man. Yeah. I'm going to stand on the principle of what God gave me, and that is my Judeo-Christian principles. I'm not a perfect man. Nobody is.
Right.
But if you have a foundation to lean on and let it guide you, you can really do a lot of good in this world. Mm-hmm. And that's what we got to get back to. I also want to be able to arm the teachers. Right. Like allow teachers or staff or coaches to be armed. Obviously, they got to go through qualifications and get certified in different things.
Hey, monthly checkouts. I'm sorry. You want to carry a gun on school, monthly checkouts. You got to go down once a month, that you go in, you fire it off, 50 rounds or 100 rounds. Every month. Sure. That's just what you do, but that's also keeps you proficient. See, you can go get a cert, tuck that in your pants, and 5 years later you forgot what you were doing. But if you're going down every month and you're going through 50 rounds or 100 rounds, and you got the local shop down here who has his FFA is going to make sure he's signing and watching you do it because it means something of value. But it also is what he wants to do to protect the kids. So he'll say, "Come down. I'll give you the rounds, but I'm going to stand here and make sure you round every one of those, and you're getting the practice in." And this is where I think, is this one of those things, like you and I are military, and there's a preparedness you do. You practice, right? You don't always like, it's a big game, I'm just going to go play the Super Bowl today. Jim Price is starting for, I'm like, I'm not starting for anybody. I got to put the time in. But it seems like everybody's an expert. Everybody's got a cert. Everybody's got but is anybody really practicing and putting that knowledge into work and doing it in the same ways? Like, let's get them everybody a handgun cert. I love that idea. But let's also make sure they're sending rounds down range every month, just like if you were in the military, right?
Yep. And it helps the local gun places too, where they can keep getting business as well. Yeah. And then also for any teacher or staff member that doesn't want to carry a lethal gun, we have the burn a gun, which is legal in all 50 states.
Right. Yeah.
So they can go that route too. Now, this other one I wanted to do has been a 50-50 with the people. So half the people like it, half don't, where you do one way in, one way out, metal detectors. Some people like it, some people don't. They say, well, how do you get all the students in? And really, I think you could do it. But people are like, well, people come at certain times. I'm like, look, no, this is the time you need to be at school unless you have written permission.
Hire FedEx. Hire FedEx. You want to see how you can get all the kids in the building very efficiently? Hire FedEx to run the buses and hire FedEx to run the schedule to get in and out of the building. Just simple as that, guys. I mean, I don't know why we don't. Why don't we hire experts at putting people and things in places and making sure by efficiency, by design, like FedEx doesn't always put the biggest box truck on every route, correct? They've got some little vans, right? Because in that little route, they only need little vans. But how many big old buses, 52, 80, 90 bazillion kid buses, do you have rolling around with 3 kids in it?
Yeah.
Why don't we ask FedEx, say, hey, as a charitable thing, why don't you run our routes for us? Clean up our routes and tell us how we actually get the packages here and there, and we can certify their delivery.
Yeah, and I think if they do that, you can use them as a customer. A lot of American
we'll use you as a company to do all of our shipping, but you guys got to donate the logistics so that we get it right.
Yep. And I think more of the American people would support that company too, whoever's helping children,
But see, that's the public-private partnership that is beneficial to both, because we're going to use you as shipping, but you're going to give us logistics, not here's $1 billion. That's all money laundering. We all know what happened there.
And I'd like to get the veterans and retired police officers in there to patrol the schools and be the ones that, because a lot of veterans, they're looking for something to do,
and it keeps them alive. It'll keep them alive. If you see retirees, man, you set them in a chair and they're dead in months. Get them up there to the school.
Especially when it comes to children, they will work for free, volunteer their services for children.
Yeah. Why aren't more grandpas doing the day bus rides to the zoo and back? Why aren't more grandpas and grandmas doing the field trip, things like that just to fill in? And I know that not everybody has that luxury because the economy is bad, and I get that, but we just need to make sure the opportunities are there. And this is, Brian, this is where I like talking to you, because I feel like I'm kind of pushing you a little bit to see if you got a stopping point on what would be a great idea, but you're there already. What are some of the? Go ahead. Yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, what are some of the other ideas? Like you're saying, we want to make sure that we've got teachers carrying. They're going to be certified. They're going to be re-upping all the time. If they don't re-up, they can't carry. Just little basic rules, right? Yeah. What other things?
And they get paid a little more too, as well.
Yeah. Why not?
To carry a gun.
Yeah.
Because it is, it is a qualification, another qualification. We want to give you guys,
I'd say if I get to go shoot an extra 50 or 100 rounds for free down at the local armory, that's kind of enough of payment for me. You know what I mean? That's my my idea, right?
I like it.
What about lunches and things like that, where we're seeing like bad food but overspending? What do you see in that area?
So what I plan on doing, this is where I'm at today, is actually I plan on using this farm, the owners of this farm, to team up with them to help feed our children through local farming and restaurants, to help feed the children, to get the garbage food out of the cafeteria that they're eating. And because I actually drink a lot of the milk that these ladies make. Right. Well, they don't make it, but they squeeze it.
Sorry. Oh, and then his internet froze right there. Oh, hold on. You're cutting up.
And it's amazing.
Okay, you're cutting up. You cut up there. Hey, you actually broke up right. Okay. Yeah, right when you said it's from the goats, not the ladies, and so you froze.
Okay.
So anyway, great.
Well, so anyway, yeah,
great moment there for you. Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. And then I had him behind me.
Well, no, we didn't see any of that. We couldn't hear that. We just saw you go right after that comment. So it was. Anyway,
oh yeah. Oh
yeah. So anyway, so you.
So the girls. I'd like to team up with eggs, get eggs and all that stuff in there. Sorry, fresh vegetables and also when it comes to agriculture, I want to be able to get cow meat. Teach kids how to fillet it.
Butcher.
Like basically take care of the meat and bring it into the schools.
Right.
So that way they have the protein as well. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, you were quite.
No, that's you're absolutely right. That's where you go into. You can have them learning about butchering. You can have them learning about how chickens are processed, and it's the farm to table effect. But the thing is then here's where I don't understand why we don't do this more often, is that when you do the farm to table effect, you're learning about logistics, you're learning about money, you're learning about negotiations, you're learning about contracts and commitments, you're learning about weather, you're learning about soil density, you're learning about all these different you're finding out that a couple of years ago people were saying the chicken feed didn't have the nutrients in it. Well, I said it wasn't actually the chicken food that didn't have nutrients. It was because the glyphosates that they spray on it to keep the mold off was actually affecting the chickens. Anyway, but you learn those things through these animal husbandry things and all that, and all these other kids that are in the rural areas. Why couldn't the kids in the urban areas experience some of that as well?
Yeah, and I would also like to team up with other farms that have the fruit trees, and have people who wants to donate, a sponsor the fruit tree and plant them at all the schools in my district. So that way there's always constant food for the kids, because a lot of these kids, the only meal they get is at school.
Yeah.
So if we can give them fresh food and then let them take some fruit home, that way they have some food. But the kids are going to have to maintain all this, and that they learn that through the school. And, like we were just talking about, and also with the security aspect, we want to make sure we enforce the phone policy. They're not enforcing the phone policy because there's a lot of human and child sex trafficking going on through the phones. Right. I wanted to mention that through the safety. I forgot to do that, but and then team up with Sail Freedom, who has this program where it teaches the parents and the teachers and the admin on a lot of these kids that get sucked up into whether social media or these dating sites or whatever, or what's that one where they do the little video for 10 seconds and it goes away?
Snapchat or
Snapchat. Yeah, there's a lot of pedophiles on there that get to track the kids. So really it's about teaching and preventing kids from using the phones at school. It's just like going to work. You don't use your phone at work, right?
Right.
You put it away, and then when there's a lunch or something, sure. But yeah, back to the farming. But yeah, I'd love to be able to plant fruit trees as well through nurseries, local nurseries, and people that want to honor a loved one or something, they can pay for it and then we take care of it at the schools. So really, a lot of this would be publicly, privately funded through grants and the private sector.
And this is where I think the mentorship or apprenticeship in a real way, where kids are leaving half day at freshman year of high school to go work a job that is actually career oriented, where they're going, okay, we're going to pay you, and you work out a thing where it's like waitress wages or something. You get $3 an hour while you're going there, but they're getting real world, just standing around, hearing adults talk, hearing how it actually works. And if that means that they go and try for 1 year to be a mechanic and they learn after a year that, they're like, hey, hell to the no. Like, I ain't doing that. But see, there's people who'll go in and do an 18-month auto mechanic degree, and it's great because it's the shop and it's a single task and it's a this and that. But when it gets out to the real world, all of a sudden they're like, oh, auto mechanicking, oh, it's not like school was. But if you get that opportunity to do the apprenticeships and getting in there and doing those internships that are accountable, one with the employer, but also with the student, because it gives them credit, transferable credit, right? We work with that whole thing. This is where we create people who are better citizens, because they already have a better path. They're already there. They're already doing something. And if you can show a kid a success at freshman or sophomore year of career mindedness, and then you're also backing up that with education, reciprocation, right? That makes people want to go, oh, okay, yeah, this is cool. This is what we should be doing. We don't have to wait for another 6 to 8 years after high school. That's almost 30 years of indoctrination.
And have debt from college or whatever,
Yeah, don't do
and
that.
And Jim, what it does, it teaches them the American dream.
Yeah.
This is what it is. And it gives you that pride of being American. Like, we are so privileged to be born in the greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
And people piss on this opportunity, excuse my language. They take it for granted. So many of us who, like you and I, who serve, we saw so many guys come home in a casket with a flag over their casket that died for the opportunity to be an American. And so many youngsters just take it for granted. And I think if we teach them these aspects, that they will have a sense of pride. And like you said, being a plumber or a welder, an electrician, whatever it is, mechanic, a farmer, and man, it would give them a sense of pride. Like, oh man, this is what it is like. And then what it does is builds leadership, and it builds a man, because men are here to protect and provide. That's what we're supposed to do for our families. And it gives them a sense of that right there.
I had a guy, this is where this actually comes in. I had a guy that worked for me, and this guy couldn't show up on time to save his life. He couldn't show up 4 days in a row. He couldn't show up all 5 days of the week. It just, no matter what it was, he just had to leave early. There was always a show up late every week. And there was so as a boss, a lot of times people think about what bosses are, and I never thought of myself as an authoritarian, but I always found what was good in people. And so education should be finding what's good in people. Well, I found out that this guy, one day, I said, hey, man, could you run and lock up? We were doing a historical restoration on these really beautiful 1920s, they were called garden homes. Anyway, and I said, hey, can you go lock that up for me real quick and get that done? I was just in the middle of something. I think we were pouring something on there in their project, something. And he come bebopping back. Hey, Jim, yeah, I got this and that done. I got this and that. Hey, and I said, hey, could you just hold on to those till tomorrow? I think I was just elbows deep in something. And he's like, are you sure, man? I'm like, yeah, I just don't screw around. Nope, you got to be here tomorrow, man. And I think the next day I knew I didn't really need to be in that building. So it was kind of a, hey, hold on to him. I don't have a time to grab him from you. And I just gave him to him. But it just seemed like the right thing to do. The next morning, I think we pulled up at the same time to the job site. And I was always like a 30-minute early guy, superintendent.
Yeah.
And I pull up. He's like pulling up with me. I'm like, what do you do? Like, what's going on? Like, why are you here? And he's like, hey, Jim, good to see you. And he's all starts unlocking everything, gets the Connex open. And I'm like, that's it. That's it. And I said, hey, and he came back, hey, man, here's your keys. I just went ahead and unlocked it. I was like, cool, dude, but those are yours. And I found what made him tick. But if you just keep pushing everybody through the same widget, like you're not here on time, you suck, you're not here on time, you suck, you're not here on time, you suck, then what did we learn? What did we gain? But if that kid is out there trying to see if he's worth being a chef or not, if he's maybe worth being a mechanic or not, he gets that opportunity to see that maybe that's not his thing. But also just keep telling him he's late all the time or he doesn't get grades all the time. What are you developing in his ability to go out and be something?
For sure, because we all have weaknesses and strengths, and as a teacher, and a coach, you look for those strengths to guide them that way. And like to add, it's hard to talk about myself, but I was a coach for a while too. I've always been around the youth. Once I've stopped playing my own sports and all that stuff, and been blessed to be on state championship teams. And early on, you don't know if you're going to be able to win a state championship, but you learn by watching your team develop and grow, and you build those strengths to take you to the promised land. And when you get there, all that hard work and effort, when you win, is just, even losing though, you learn a lot, don't get me wrong, but just that joy of succeeding. And I think if kids are able to do that, like, even if, like you said, if they try welding for a year, they're still in there, then they go into their half of their sophomore year. Oh, let me try mechanic. And then they fall in love with being a mechanic or a plumber or whatever it is. And then like they're already ready to go once they graduate and they have no debt. Right. And then also I'd like to be able to pay coaches more too. I spoke to one of the coaches who've been coaching baseball for 43 years in the Pasco County school system, and he's gotten the same pay for 43 years.
Wow.
He mentioned getting $100 per year you serve as the coach. And I was like, man, that's a great idea. And obviously they should get more. So if we can obviously do more, we will, but at least give them $100 a year for that way you keep stability, because if you keep changing coaches, you're never going to be able to build a foundation,
Right. But also the coaches that are winning, there needs to be, here's your base, but also here's another bonus bracket for regionals or state. And so the guy feels like putting the effort in, like it's like kind of like going to the Super Bowl. You only get $200,000 if you win and $180,000 if you lose, or whatever that differential is.
That's rough, isn't it?
Yeah, but for one game. But the idea, even with the players, you go, hey guys, you guys get to regionals, you guys got $20 at the snack bar. You got $20 credit or something, just little incentives. And the thing is that it gives a sense of pride and a pull through where people want to be involved and get it. And like, oh, you know what, if we coach and then if you win, then you get bonuses on but if you're just like, well, hey, I coach because it's a position that was open, so it's an extra $1,200 a year. It's like, that's not a thing, right? And not everybody coaches that way. We've seen coaches that coach.
Yeah, a lot of people do that though, Jim, because they're looking for people, because like a good coach doesn't. They will, but they don't want to stay there long for $1,200 for a season, and then but really they're doing things all year around, like the baseball coach. All summer long, they got to cut the field and maintain the field, but he doesn't get paid for it. Right. So like, why would you want to do that for $2,800 a year? You love kids that much, I guess, to do that, but like you said, we need an incentive base as well. You got this base, right? But you win so many games, go to the playoffs, win a state title, you get more. And that's how you compete and you keep teachers and coaches in your county, because our county does struggle at keeping good teachers and coaches because we don't pay them very well. It's terrible.
Well, and that's the balance of it, right? So how do you find a way to make it a little bit performance-based where people do have a reason to elevate kids and really get that there? But the sad part of it is when you do that, then you'll see these teachers push these kids off into special needs stuff. They'll requalify them with an aptitude that, oh, by the way, this kid has this and that, so we got to put him through this, when they just didn't want to mess with him. And that's it's a fine line to figure out, how do you get a child to learn something they don't want to learn by somebody they don't know. Which then, is meeting to a standard that we don't know if they can meet. That's the conundrum. But here's the problem I have. We can't ask the question because of the teachers unions, and I'm not, I'm not anti-union, but I'm not pro teachers union, because it seems like they really do step in the way of education.
Yeah, they do. And And in my district, if I find out teachers pushing ideologies and different things, they will no longer be able to work in my district. I want teachers who are going to be there to teach and guide and mold future leaders, not push ideology, not push politics. I don't even want kids to know any, like me, say I'm teaching a class.
Right.
I don't want anybody to know which way I go, like vote for,
Yeah.
or what my beliefs are, anything.
We didn't
We're here-
used to know our teacher's first name. It used to be
Yeah.
a secret to be able to catch that what our teacher's first name was. That's how much we didn't
true.
know our teachers.
That is true. And we got to get back to that. Like, we got to get back to respect and just compassion and work, uniting, really. It's,
Right. Well, we've let ourselves get soft. We let the guys, and again, we're not asking for like the rigidity of things, but hey, there are education models out there that when you go into the education process, there's an aptitude test given. Where a
Yep.
child in kindergarten, which I think is still, this weird little, why do we need 13 years to educate? But anyway, but there's an aptitude test given, and it's at grade or at age level aptitude, but to see if they're more mechanical or more math driven or more color, artistic. And then every like 2 to 3 years, it's given again to see if that child has now moved more to the sciences instead of the math, or, you know what I'm saying?
I support those type of tests, assessment tests,
Yeah,
things like that.
pushing,
but not the garbage that they have now, where you just take it. Oh, we're testing.
No. These are to see if we need to get you in more math because your aptitude is going towards math. Oh, we need to get you towards, and hey, and then that begins where somebody's more mechanical. Well, you still put them in wood shop, and you still put them in drafting, and you put them in these things that starts building those skills. So then when they go out in the real world, they have something that really benefits their mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just a system I know that's out there, and it would be great if we could aptitude test, and then how they have charter schools where you have a science and a math and a different things like that.
yeah.
But we could still inside of there, if we know a kid has a certain lean, like he does way better in math, well, let's give him more math. Let's
For
feed
sure.
him, right?
And but we got to make sure we teach civics. So I want them to learn each and every amendment and learn about their God-given rights. That way they can know how to, navigate that through life and use it because we are a constitutional republic.
Yep.
And we want to make sure that they're taught that, and that, because that D word's a garbage word.
Oh,
we're
it
not
is.
a D word.
That's socialism light. That's all that is. Democracy
Yes,
is
it is.
socialism light. It's just right into it, and that's where we're going. I mean, you just see what
Communism.
Mandandi, he doesn't have the authority to do any of the things he promised in his campaign. He has zero authority to do any of that. I didn't know that.
Thank God, huh?
Oh, yeah. Anyway, what an idiot. So what for you going into this, we got a couple minutes here.
I
what
wanted
is
you
your
to meet the
message?
girls. The girls,
Yeah,
just got done working it. You want to meet them real quick?
Yeah, sure.
And
Yeah.
we'll close out after.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Here's the ladies that are the owners right here. Come say hello. Oh, look they're bringing you a special guest too, Jim.
Uh-oh,
Come
it's
on
zooming in here. Okay. Where are we at? Oh, there we go. Oh, look
This
at
is
those
Liv.
guys. Oh,
Hi, Liv. That's Rebecca.
your camera zoomed in on me there. Go ahead. Those are
They
great.
own the farm. Go ahead and talk about your guys' place if you want.
Yeah.
So we have about 40 goats on property right now. I would say about 15 of them are babies. We kitted out, I don't know, how many goats did we kit out this year?
15, 20.
Yeah, I think we kitted out, I think about 15 or 25 goats. We got rid of some of them. We work with the schools. We lease out to schools all over Florida. We actually just picked up some goats down that were in LaBelle for a while. I help out a lot of schools over in Hillsborough, Pasco. She helped out a lot of the kids at Hudson with their pig projects. So,
Do
but
you guys
yeah,
have a website?
we have a Facebook.
Facebook.
So it's called Liv's Lovely Dairy.
Lives
basically
Lovely Dairy?
Yes.
You could give them one more time.
Liv's Lovely Dairy.
That way people can. Any questions, Jim? You see them sucking on the finger there?
Yeah,
I thought you were looking at my face because I'm trying to figure out how to spell all that. So I was, but that's cool as heck. How old is that goat you got right there? How old is that?
She's about, I don't know, about 6 weeks.
Oh my God, that's gonna get big.
About 4 to
Holy
6
crap.
weeks.
That's gonna be a big goat.
Yeah. And then the one you have is Pearl. She actually won grand champion at the Florida State Fair.
What? A grand
Yep.
champion.
She won it at, I think,
Oh.
like what, 2 weeks old? Yeah.
I didn't know we
Jim, you
had.
gotta come down to Florida and visit their farm here and milk some goats.
Yeah, you gotta come visit.
Yeah, we
all
got
we do is milk
royalty.
goats.
That's royalty right there. The grand champion is in our house. I mean, golly,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, that's
Right there.
God dang. All right. Well, okay. All right. Well, that is awesome, guys. And let's make sure and get that Facebook link out there for you guys. At least follow them and watch what they're doing. And that's great stuff, guys. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you. Yeah, they're great people here.
Hey, never work with animals and children. They'll always steal the show, man. So the animals are still in your show.
Hey, that's why I brought them on so people will pay attention. They want to see the animals, not me.
That's great. Well, I tell you, animals teach us a lot about ourselves and our world around us. So I think it's great what you want to do for the kids. The idea that you're just even thinking about it puts you ahead of where most people are just like, oh, just give them some more Totino's pizza. It's great. It's like, it's garbage. We got to do better.
It is.
And
I've actually eat it. I when I substitute,
Yeah.
I go to the cafeteria to eat the food just to try it out. And I'm like, oh, this isn't even real food. It's it's terrible.
And the sad part of it is per portion, what we're paying, it's really disturbing. I mean, you could farm that out and do better, and even try to do some local, companies trying to fill in on it. But anyway, Brian, thank you so much for being you, buddy. It's amazing. I always like talking to you, whether you're running for office or not. It's always a great conversation. Yeah. Your heart's always in the right place. So thank you so much for being a part of everything you're doing. And yeah,
Well, I always appreciate talking to you, brother. I miss you. We got to stay in touch more.
No,
we were praying for you during when you were battling what you were battling, and it just made me realize, we got to, no matter what, no matter how busy, you're never too busy to reach out and just text each other or give each other a quick call.
Yeah.
And I'd love to earn your endorsement this year for this campaign, if you don't mind.
Oh, I would love to endorse you, man. You got my endorsement. I mean, absolutely. You're doing a great job, and your heart's always in the right place. That's kind of the crazy part of it is that, there's not a lot of people that you can really talk about things like we've talked about and show where you're consistent in the idea of we're trying to create better opportunities for people and create more freedom and liberty. So thank you Brian for being you, and thank you to the farm for letting them host you. So thank you so much.
Sure, yeah, I'm grateful. And one last thing, Jim, don't forget, I don't know if you remember, the same county I'm running for school board in is the same school board that arrested me when I was standing up for the children at the school board in 2021, when they were forcing children to wear masks.
No.
I told the superintendent, he's the one that should be put in jail for
Right.
child abuse for forcing children to wear masks. So
Absolutely.
it's crazy what full circle and I was a congressional candidate then.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, and that shows you where when somebody with a little bit of power and yet doesn't have leadership skills shows how bad it can be. And that's where leadership really needed to shine. And he wasn't a leader in that moment. And lack of leadership skills will show when it really is necessary. And again, that's where I think you're going to do better. So thank you, Brian, for being you. And let me get you out of here so I can close out the show.
Sure. God bless you, brother. Thank you very much.
You bet, buddy. We'll talk soon, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, what a great interview with Brian. And I always like talking to Brian because I feel like we're just buddies talking about, even though he's running for office, which I need you guys to do understand that he is running for office for school board down there. Great guy. I always like talking to him. And I guess I just haven't seen him probably in a couple of years now physically. We've talked on the phone and things like that, and very how he was and genuine about concern for me is exactly who he is, and I think that's important in humanity. One of the things I learned about how we treat each other or how people are treated in a hospital, there's no more humanity there. I mean, I was in the most expensive room in Wichita or probably in America, the ICU for 6 days, and I felt like I was not a human being at all. I was losing my mind. It was not comfortable. There was no relief, no kindness I felt. I mean, I felt like they were kind enough, But in the world we have around us, we need to do better. And people like Brian, I think, make that great for all of us. Guys, thank you so much for all the stuff. Now, remember, this whole thing with Iran, I do understand what Trump is talking about by moving the Muslims out of control and getting that whole thing under control and then having, quote unquote, the regime change. It's actually not a regime change the way that everybody's talking about. Just like in Venezuela, they just let the vice president take over. They just took Maduro out. Well, in the same way over in Iran, they're just taking out this Ayatollah, which is a religious leader who uses religion to kill people and also rule within the government. Well, what they've done now is saying, okay, let's just go back to your regular government. Let's just do a reset. And I don't think we need to go in there and do this whole big bang thing we're doing. But sometimes, like I said, they do respect authority. They do respect action. And sometimes that's what's necessary. But I do hear that there are people capitulating already. They want to come to the table to do peace. And I think it's going to work out. So anyway, guys, we have lost 4 servicemen. As far as the last count I knew, there were 4 servicemen that had lives lost. But there's an investigation into that, and I don't know what that means. I listened to the Department of War give a presser today, and they said there was an ongoing investigation as if that wasn't something that was part of the actual situation over there. So anyway, we're going to find out what's going on. There may be more news to come on that, but there has been 4 servicemen that have lost their life since the beginning of this, whatever you want to call, if it's a regime change or just moving the Muslims out of control just long enough to allow the government to stand itself back up. And again, that is necessary. So we'll see how it all goes. This is a different way of doing things where we've done in the past. Instead of just taking Saddam out and allowing other people to move in that weren't that way, we decided to bomb the whole place. And that was actually more to do with other things like Stargates and things like that. So let's have that for another conversation. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be about it for me. It was great conversations out there today. Brian is a good guy, and I do appreciate everything he's doing. He's always out there trying his best. So thank you for him. All right, guys. Remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, the less it to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. There will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast. Do not give up. Do not give in. We will win. I promise. I make promise I can't keep. Guys, you've always been the answer out there. Remember that Constitution. That Constitution limits the government, but never limits you. See, that's the reality of it, is that you have to understand that. And Brian was asking for that. That's what he's saying. Like, I want kids to know their power. Think about what government official is out there saying, I want you to know how your government is beholden to you and should answer to you. What politician is saying that? And this is what we talk about, right, guys? Remember, hold the line, hold fast, do not give in, do not give up, do not give in. We will win, I promise. I make promise I can't keep, guys. You've always been the answer. I remember the Constitution limits the government. See how that just comes right back in there? See how simple that is? Hold the line, hold fast, don't give up. Golly. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for everything you guys are doing out there. I'm going to get out of here. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys all be good to each other.